Welcome to Brilliantly British. My name is Lawrence and today we're going to show you how to make a fantastic batch of steak bakes. So as we show you how, please sit back, relax with a cup of tea in hand, putting those feet up too, and enjoy this episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Several Greggs style pastries have appeared on the channel, elevating and celebrating a few examples from the UK's most popular bakery chain. In this episode, we'll be taking on the Greggs steak bake, with ours consisting of juicy steak pieces in a rich meat and vegetable gravy, all encased within sheets of homemade all butter puff pastry, with results that speak for themselves. And in keeping with our tradition, we'll round things off with a session of tasting at the end. So, with the introductions made and your interest peaking, please allow me to introduce the ingredients to you. For today's Brilliantly British Greggs style steak bake, you will need some ideally homemade puff pastry. Follow the link up there to learn how to make it yourselves at home. You will need some Worcestershire sauce, some eggs, butter, mustard powder, some Marmite, or as it's otherwise called, yeast extract, some cornflour, carrots, onion, celery, some of this fantastic looking stock. Follow the link up there in the corner to learn how to make it yourselves. And the star of this snack, you will need some good quality steak, and I am going for some ribeye, followed by a little pinch or two of salt and pepper to avoid the occurrence of bland food. That's it for the making of today's Brilliantly British Greggs style steak bake. But before you get started, please, before you do anything at all, switch on your kettle to brew yourself a nice cup of hot tea so that you can sip on that whilst you bake. To begin preparing one of the UK's most beloved pastries, in a ripping hot oiled pan, preferably stainless steel or cast iron, sear your meat with it salted and massaged on both sides until dark brown all over. Immediately afterwards, seasoning with fresh ground black pepper on both sides before setting aside for just a moment. Moving on, in the same pan over a medium-high heat, throw in a knob of butter, diced onion, celery and carrots with stock to help deglaze the pan, with a lovely addition of Marmite, then mixing well before simmering under a lid for 3 to 4 minutes. Minutes later, in will go dashes of Worcestershire sauce and mustard powder, followed by the addition of the rest of your stock, another knob of butter, and once molten, the addition of a cornflour slurry to form the basis of your sauce. Continue stirring over a medium heat until thick and bubbly, at which point coarse black pepper is strongly recommended, and with your source of heat now switched off, fold in your now diced pieces of seared steak with all juices, placing the pan to one side to cool while you attend to the pastry. To prepare the pastry on a well-floured surface, with tea being within arm's reach, roll out into a roughly 30 by 28 centimeter rectangle before placing to one side for just a moment and repeating with the other half of pastry. With both pastry sheets rolled out, lay one atop the other and trim away any jagged edges, using the opportunity to match the sheets in the process. With the edges trimmed and the sheets equal in size, divide into 6, yielding 12 sheets, which should have their edges egg washed before progressing. And now would be the moment to begin preheating your oven. For one steak bake, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of filling should be sufficient before laying on the second sheet and repeating. With all of the pastries at a rudimentary stage, seal them by crimping with a fork on all sides before placing onto a baking paper lined oven tray. I then recommend taking a moment to relax and rehydrate before continuing by egg washing and scoring, and sliding into your oven to bake to perfection. Now having free time, relax, rehydrate, and enjoy more of our brilliantly British content, making sure, of course, to like and subscribe. Once ready, the pastries will have bronzed and risen with an aroma that words simply cannot describe. So now, with a batch of steak bakes made and your appetite's peaking, I think it's time for tasting, tasting, tasting. Are you ready? Are you, my dear viewers, steady? 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay, now that I've just about managed to compose myself, let me express to you, my dear viewers, how great these are. The pastry, first and foremost, is buttery, flaky, light. It makes such a mess, which is a very good sign of very good puff pastry. Then the filling itself is flavoursome. It is flavourful. It's very meaty, very intense. Not too intense though. And of course, you can appreciate that lovely steak. And it's fair to say there's much more protein in these bakes than you'll find anywhere else out there in the world. The vegetables still have a bite to them. They haven't disappeared. They haven't been lost in there. I can identify the onions, the celery, and the carrots. It's lovely and peppery as well. And there's just enough sauce so that everything is nice and moist. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. And of course, on this channel, it is brilliantly British. So please, when time allows, go out, get the ingredients, and make these brilliantly British steak bakes, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you all for allowing me to show you how to make a brilliantly British batch of steak bakes. Knowing that you loved this episode, don't forget to click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you don't miss any of our new releases. Tell everyone you know, and I mean everyone that you know, about the brilliantly British food on this channel, and follow us on all of the social media platforms that this channel is on, and I will see you